All right, let's dive into one of history's great underdog stories. We're going back to the Irish Rebellion of 1798 for a battle that, on paper, should have been impossible to win. It's a wild story sarcastically nicknamed the Castlebar Races.
So picture this. It's late August 1798 in County Mayo, Ireland. You've got this massive British Crown force, nearly 6,000 soldiers strong, completely dug in. They've got cannons, they've got supplies, and they are feeling very good about their chances, just waiting for the enemy to show up.
So the big question is, how did this powerful, well-equipped army go from total confidence to a complete and utter rout? How did they end up literally running for their lives from an enemy half their size? Well, that's the puzzle we're going to piece together today. To really get how wild this was, we first have to understand the odds. I mean, looking at the numbers, the whole situation for the rebels looked completely hopeless. Okay, just look at this comparison. The combined Franco-Irish force had maybe 3,000 men. The British force was double that, around 6,000, and they had 14 heavy cannons. Seriously, this wasn't supposed to be a fight. It was supposed to be a quick, brutal end to the uprising. But then something happened that changed the entire dynamic. A small but very professional French expeditionary force showed up. They were the spark that lit the whole fire. So on August 22nd, a little over 1,000 French troops, led by General Jean Humbert, just land in a remote part of Mayo. No one stops them. They move fast, taking the town of Killala and then Ballina. And as word gets out, local rebels, the United Irishmen, who were fighting for an independent Irish republic, started flocking to join them, and their numbers grew fast.
All right, let's flip over to the British side. Their commander, General Lake, pulls all his troops together at the town of Castlebar. He's got the men, he's got the firepower, he's got the high ground. He thinks he's getting ready for an easy, decisive victory.
Now, General Lake was a by-the-book kind of commander. He looks at the map and sees only one sensible way for the enemy to attack, straight down the main road from Ballinamuck. So he arranges his entire army, infantry, cavalry, all 14 cannons, to create this massive, concentrated kill zone right on that road.
But General Humbert had a secret weapon that wasn't on any map: local Irish guides. They told the French about this other path, this rugged trail through the wilderness that the British had just written off as totally impassable for a real army, especially one trying to drag cannons along.
So you can just imagine the absolute chaos in the British camp when scouts suddenly report that the enemy isn't on the main road at all. They're coming from the side. They had to frantically try and turn their entire army around. Cannons are being dragged, regiments are shuffling. Before a single shot was even fired, confusion was already setting in. And all that chaos set the stage for one of the most famous routs in British military history, an event that would earn the very sarcastic nickname, the Castlebar Races. Okay, here we go. The battle kicks off. The British cannons open up and wow, it's devastating. They're just mowing down the advancing Franco-Irish soldiers. But the experienced French officers spot a little ravine that offers some cover. From there, they launch this absolutely ferocious bayonet charge. And that is the breaking point. The poorly trained local militiamen on the British side see this terrifying charge coming right at them. They hesitate for a second, and then they just break and run.
It was like a domino effect. The panic was contagious. It just ripped through the ranks, and the entire British line collapsed. Soldiers abandoned their posts, dropped their weapons, left their cannons. They left everything and just fled in total disorganized terror. And that headlong flight is exactly what gave the battle its name. It wasn't a strategic withdrawal, it was a race. And the panic was so bad that some of the soldiers reportedly didn't stop running until they reached the town of Athlone, which is nearly 100 kilometers away.
So let's just pause and really absorb the scale of this disaster for the British. On the battlefield, they lost around 400 soldiers, killed or wounded. But on top of that, an incredible 800 more were just captured. Their fighting days over in an instant. And here's the ultimate humiliation. Every single one of their heavy cannons, all 14 of them, were just abandoned and captured. The very tools of their supposed dominance were now in rebel hands. It was an absolute catastrophe. Now, after this mind-blowing victory, you can imagine the celebration on the rebel side. But their success, which was born from a brilliant plan, was about to slam into the harsh reality of overwhelming numbers. In the excitement after the battle, the rebels declared a brand new, independent Republic of Connacht. They even named an Irish leader as its president. But this number right here, it tells the real story.
Their revolutionary dream would survive for just 12 days. The British Empire did not take this defeat lying down. Their response was swift and massive. By September 8th, a new army of over 15,000 had cornered Humbert's tiny force, and he had no choice but to surrender. The rebellion was crushed, and when a final French relief fleet was defeated at sea, the 1798 rebellion was officially over. But while that Republic of Connacht was gone in a flash, the memory of the incredible victory that created it, that endures. This plaque in Castlebar is a testament to that day, a reminder of an impossible win against all odds. So the story of the Castlebar races really leaves us with a timeless military question, right? When it all comes down to it, what really matters more in a fight? Having superior numbers or having a superior plan?